Passion projects. TDS, text-to-speech, and music application, and I'm calling it knowtunes. Looking at having it developed as a PWA, progressive web application, so that it is independent of the native application build requirements for iOS or Android. The downsides/limitations are that PWAs cannot provide clickable icons for iOS devices, iPhones, but they can provide the clickable icons for Android devices. The upsides include easier programming, and greater cost savings. Making use of existing APIs linking to Google Cloud's TDS and others that provide multi-track audio file merging/layering will reduce costs of programming them on my own or paying someone to do so considerably. Origins of knowtunes. This new job offer is going to be a 5-year program where I will be tasked with becoming certified in certain government procedures. I took the initiative to find the referenced materials I will be assigned to learn, revised them in such a way that I was able to redact anything that wasn't completely pertinent to learning them, converted the remaining text to speech using a freely available TDS program that runs on Microsoft, and downloaded the resulting audio files in .mp3 format. The next goal was to find an audio recording/engineering platform, and thanks to my background in music production, I was already aware of Pro Tools, GarageBand, and Ableton, and I was familiar with using each. So, I used the freely available version of GarageBand that came pre-installed on my Mac laptop, downloaded some instrumental music that was copyright-free, Mozart, Vivaldi, etc., and imported the music audio into one track line, and the TDS audio into another. The final step was to export the resulting merged single audio file in .mp3 format. Once this was completed, my concept was proven, and I was on my way. I then went on to buy the domain name knowtunes.com, and used the freely available WordPress website builder templates to further my idea. I had spent about a week going over different ideas, and doing trademark, social media, app, and Google searches to be sure I didn't use a name someone else already had, and that is how I came across knowtunes. It is a play on words for note tunes and how they could aid in knowing notes, using music. I spoke with an existing TDS team known as Speechify, and gained a plethora of information and advice from their developer team, and was able to bounce ideas back and forth with Cliff, Simeon, and next, I created a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Gmail, and LinkedIn page all with the knowtunes name for marketing uniformity going forward. I had previously attempted to register a different trademark name, but they require an actual deliverable, product, or application, hence, the need for the PWA build. In the meantime, I'm hoping no one I already told about the name registers it as their own trademark, but one can only worry so much, and as long as I can get the tool built, I can reap its benefits of helping me study for my new job. Luckily, I was able to take the long way of performing my proof of concept on my own for all the study materials I am currently aware of anyway, so I'm in a much more formidable position to be the best employee possible by the time I start. Having completed these conversions today, July 7, 2018, I'm looking at another 4 months of study time prior to beginning this new job. I created a flowchart for the back end of how the PWA should work, registered for Google Cloud, and got in contact with a couple app developers that are willing to connect the APIs we're finding to perform the necessary functions without having to pay anything, and one of them is telling me he's also willing to make the GUI, graphic user interface, as well. If all goes to plan, I should have the app completed in rough draft deliverable/downloadable form around August or September, just in time to start my new job to make combining TDS with music much easier for any other study materials I'm given at that point and going forward. Thinking forward for potential marketing purposes, I took the liberty of procuring Excel datasets for every college and university in the country. Then, for scalability, I did the same thing for every K-12 school in the country, elementary, pre, middle, high school, etc., both public and private, and these datasets also contain contacts and addresses for each, including websites where applicable. This totals to over 100,000 schools, which is vastly beyond what my student license for the ArcMap program I'm using to map them allots, so for marketing proof of concept, I'll probably stick to a state with no more than 10,000 schools in total as to avoid exceeding the geocoding limit of 12,500 locations. Trial and error revealed these credit limitations from ESRI, maker/owner of ArcMap, and after speaking with ESRI's team, I was advised to look for pre-geocoded .shop files, which I did, so this was a great way to negate these issues of exceeding credit limits going forward, and hopefully I'll be able to map every school in the United States sometime within the next month or two. Even though this started as a tool to help me study, it can do some major good for the rest of the world, sufficing for the corporate social responsibility goals that were instilled in me in my undergrad and graduate business programs, so it quickly turned into a passion project, which I'm now positioning on all sides to be prepared for app stores eventually, trademark applicability, and maybe one day a non-profit company for further tax write-offs and further usability to help me in the future. I learned that there are about 2 billion people worldwide that could benefit from this innovation of enhancing the passive learning aspect of TDS alone by appending music files to TDS audio files, which makes learning much more enjoyable and autonomous for users. I was recently quoted prices of between $8,000 and $30,000 by 6 different developer teams, to get knowtunes developed in such a way that it could be on both the iOS App Store and the Google Play Store. But after further research, and being advised of the PWA approach, I'm now looking at roughly $5,000 for doing the project that way instead. Plus, using the Google Cloud Text-to-Speech API lends validity for consumer trust that the application will be user-friendly and reliable. Aligning branding with Google was a great thing for many reasons. Now I know the cost for full app expansion would be $8,000, the cost of starting a company would be $6,800, the unlimited ESRI ArcMap license would be $5,000, the trademark would be around $400, and the API costs for anticipated user growth would be cost carried to the users for purchasing the application. As a nonprofit, I could make discounted enterprise licenses available for students and military members, utilizing customized codes for this particular strategy, which might aid in user growth and creating customers. Understanding that once this idea hits these app stores, existing TDS apps with their own programming core competencies will become threats and new market entrants, I will need a strategy for getting in fast, growing users fast, and selling the entire product fast. Hence, the importance of the web domain, trademark, proof of concept, flowchart, API downloads, and configuration so rapidly as to make best use of my currently abundant available time.